welcome back to Gaming the System. This is Matt and Alex today. I've just rushing through a mouthful of food during the 30 seconds. Today, this is a deep dive, and we're going to be looking at our top 3 Assassin's Creed games each. So we're going to think of it as a bronze, silver, and gold for each of us. I think there's over a dozen main installments in Assassin's Creed. I've been playing it since the very first one, and it's fascinating how it's evolved over the years. And Alex and I have talked about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. If you want to look at another one of our deep dives where we talk about where we think the series might go and where we think it should go. We had a long conversation about it. So here's another installment in Assassin's Creed. So, Alex, what would your number 3 be?
My number 3, I think, would be Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And I had a long debate about whether or not that should be Black Flag, or Black Flag should be in there somewhere. But I've had to debate with myself and say no. These are my choices. So my number 3, as I said, would be Syndicate, I think, mainly because, and the reasons I put are the setting being in London, obviously being from the UK, it's familiar to me, and Victorian London is always fascinating anyway, because, Victorians always are fascinating. I think the music played a big part in my choice for that one, because it's a shout out to Austin Wintory, who's one of my favourite video game composers, and it was one of his more unique scores, I think, definitely, and it makes that entry in the franchise stand out quite a lot because it's very different musically to a lot of the other games. And then I think one of the things I enjoyed about the actual gameplay the most was when you had your end of sequence assassinations, so to speak. It actually gave you a couple of, or 2 or 3 different choices as to how to carry out the deed. And they were quite cinematic in tone. So I always remember one where you're in the Tower of London and you can impersonate one of the guards, or you can steal one of their keys, or you can infiltrate in through a different passageway. There's all sorts of different ways of doing it, but each one is very cinematic, and I like that it gave you those choices. Or you could just do whatever you wanted, and as long as you killed the person at the end, that's the game over, basically. But the fact that those choices existed in that game was something they really focused in on, which I really enjoyed having in there, because they were just really enjoyable ways to finish off the mission.
It just clocked. I remember exactly what you mean with the cinematic thing, because I think there have been 3 sort of, maybe 4 distinct phases of Assassin's Creed, because there was the original one, which was sort of the city settings, which was up till the end of Assassin's Creed Revelations, the last Ezio one, and then Assassin's Creed 3, Black Flag, and Rogue. They were the maritime ones where they started taken out of a city and into a sea setting. And then there was the first stage of the next generation, which was Unity and Syndicate, I remembered the the assassination scenario thing was from Unity as well, so they shared that. And I remember very clearly the Notre Dame assassination, where you can go into one of the priests' confessionals and stab them through that. That's great.
I must invest in buying Unity. Actually, I still haven't played it. I'll have to look at Christmas sales and see if I can.
Beautiful.
It does look like the animation styles are amazing in that one as well. Yeah. I just remembered another one from Syndicate, which I enjoyed, was I think one of the targets is a lecturer at a medical school of some kind, and you have to go in as the body that he's going to be working on, and you can assassinate him from the table, which was, I think, one of my favourite ones. Just the clever little moments like that, which really mark it out, I think.
It's very reminiscent of Hitman. Those kinds of things. Oh yeah, then the final phase is the latest three, the Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, the sort of ridiculous open world RPG ones. So fortunately enough, my number 3 is Unity, because it feels like Unity and Syndicate are two sides of the same coin. They share a lot of things. I've played Syndicate, but it didn't really speak to me very much. But I think I want to go. The main reason I want to go back to it is because Unity and Syndicate, the art was fucking incredible. The art of everything, the city,
the feeling of the city,
the feeling,
the areas of the cities as well,
and like the glass art. The making Notre Dame is stunning, and the Unity I loved because it was stunningly beautiful. You felt it all the way through. The combat was fun, and one of the key things was the costume changes. There were a million costume changes you could do, and a million weapons you could use. And the new like button prompts for free running were really interesting, because it was literally just R2X or R2 circle
to go down,
and you would go up and down, up and down. It felt really elegant. That'd be my number 3. Story was fun enough, but it was the feel of it, that kind of artistic like environment of those cities. That's what I want them to try and go, right, we're going to blow the doors off the new generation by making the best cities possible.
I agree.
Okay, so on to number 2. Alex.
I think my number 2 would be Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and that is, I've written down my reasons. The story progression in terms of Ezio's character feels like a much more solid character. Obviously, you've got to know him through Assassin's Creed 2, and now the world feels like a lot more fleshed out, and his family you get to know as well, all the supporting characters. And I think that really gives it a solid sort of body to work from. I really liked the setting of Rome. I think it gave the game a lot of gravitas, and the fact that also the villains of the game were properly good in Brotherhood. They were horrible people, but of course they were like based on the Borgias, who are real people in history as well, as Assassin's Creed villains usually are. But these ones I think were particularly strong, and I really like they kind of took the puzzles to a new level as well in Brotherhood. And how it all meshes together is just really nice. And I think they improved a lot of what was great from Assassin's Creed 2, but added in these interesting new elements as well with the Brotherhood around you to call on, to help you in fights and all that sort of thing. But just the general style of it being the final Renaissance game in Italy before Revelations. It was just like at the peak of this is how we do Italy, and this is how it is, and it's just really good. I really enjoyed it.
I remember then they really took the first Assassin's Creed and then completely they relaxed. They stopped taking themselves quite so seriously and made the beautiful, stunning Renaissance Italy. And then they took that and they said, right, we're going to go to Rome now and do that and really build on that. And I remember it being really cool. You could just press a button and then 4 assassins would go and attack the people around you. And Rome was just stunningly beautiful, especially after I remember the end of the second game, when you go to the Vatican. I think it's the Vatican in Rome.
So.
You're not allowed to go anywhere in the city. And
yes, that's right. You go in and I remember now. Yeah.
So you only get to go through the church, and then actually being able to ride horses in the city.
Yes, that was a
What
big
I'd always wanted.
plus. And also, I think Ezio has a beard in this one, so that's another plus for me, because I think it shows that he's become like really comfortable in who he is, obviously, and comfortable with his role as assassin, and he takes on a much bigger leadership role as well. So there's proper development of the character in this game, so it's really good.
And he has a really good character arc. He really matures, and you're completely right about him being comfortable in his skin. He doesn't fight for no reason anymore, like he was in the first one. On that note of his maturity, I'm going to put. I was really like wobbling between which would be my number one or number two. Yeah. But number two, I'm going to choose Revelations. The initial thing that I think we need to do another deep dive on this, as well as the best trailers through the games.
Oh my god, yes, we should. Yeah.
And I think the Revelations trailer is up there with the best. So that instantly caught my eye, and then the core of it is the city, Istanbul, Constantinople, is just jaw-dropping, completely jaw-dropping. This is a much more intimate game. It's not a massive thing, bombastic thing. It's Ezio goes out for one final quest, traveling to this amazing place, and you just get to sink into that place. It feels like, because he's a stranger in a strange land, it's not his country, it's not his city. And I also loved the other head assassin who was in who was there? I can't remember what his name was, but he spoilers, he dies at one point, and that really touched me. And I really remember feeling that moment. And so I think the two main things, so if I split it into three things, it's the city, it's the relationship with the other head assassin, and the hook blade. The hook blade is the coolest blade in the entire series. Being able to, you could go and vault over people and slide down things and hook your way up things.
Yeah.
And Did you play Revelations?
I did, yes. I don't know if I think I got like probably about 80% of the way through, but never quite finished it before I moved on to PS4, I want to say, because it was still PS3, I think. But I have watched the end, I think. Or did I finish it? I can't remember. It was like several years ago, but I very much enjoyed it. Yes, no, I really liked, obviously, the development of Ezio's story and him finding Sophia, because, I'm a sucker for a good love story as well. And it's nice, after, I can't remember what her name was, from Assassin's Creed 2 died, you were like, oh, Ezio's going to be single forever. It was just a really nice culmination to Ezio's story, and a brilliant setting as well. Yes. The one thing I didn't like about it was the bombs. Having to make bombs. I was like, I couldn't understand this mechanic, but I just couldn't gel with it at all. That was the only thing that was annoying. But, yeah.
Yeah, I just ignore the bombs.
Yeah, you can, which is one of the good things about it. You don't have to do it after you've done the tutorial. It's fine. But,
okay, so we're on to our gold, our top podium positions. What is yours, Alex?
You can probably guess what mine's going to be. It's very personal to me, and the sole reason is because it gave me what I always wanted from the franchise, which is an Assassin's Creed set in ancient Egypt, and that is Assassin's Creed Origins. And basically, I knew I was going to love it even before I played it, and it turned out to match and or exceed my expectations, because, having studied Egyptology, it naturally is going to be right up my street. And I've mentioned it lots of times before on the podcast, but I was able to connect with the world on a level that your gamer who's less into Egyptology would not be able to, because of the amount of detail that the developers have packed into the world. You can easily bypass it, it can go over your head, but if you know more about the world that you're playing in, then it kind of resonates with you, and you can appreciate the amount of work that's gone into the setting and the world building. I also liked the introduction of some of the RPG elements, like all the different weapons you could use, like the different bows. Predator bows were my favourite. That was great. And of course, what else did I put in my reasons? Oh yes, the inclusion of the myth and legend, that side of the world in which you're playing in, and how it introduced that into the series a little bit more. I mean, it was always sort of there, but this is done in a more overt way, and it's really cool the way that they explore Egyptian myth and legend, and it makes you kind of an active participant in some of it, which is really cool. But I've already talked about it quite a lot in other episodes of the podcast, so I'm sure you guys know if you've been watching previously.
It really got off to a cracking start for me. I think it's one of the most intimate and emotional storylines, because his son dying at the start is devastating, and then the constellation puzzles were beautiful as well.
Great. Yeah,
little insights to his life with his son. And yeah, just the brand new RPG style of games, and the stunning Mediterranean setting, completely beautifully recreating ancient Egypt. The boats, the little boats. I love the little rafts.
Yeah,
punting around.
And the fact you can break them as well always makes me laugh. You're like, I've crashed too many times now, I have to swim.
I really felt like it was a really confident change of setting.
Also really enjoyed camels. It's the only game that features camels, and you can ride them, and I think they're so cute. They're great.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, and also I love the those Egyptian sickle saws that curved like.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you probably know what I mean.
I do. Yeah, there is a term for it, but I've forgotten off the top of my head. But yeah,
I think my only criticism would be that they were going to have his wife as the protagonist.
Yes, that is true. That is a
nah, we'll go with the man. We'll play it safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, really good game. Okay, so my number one is Black Flag.
Yes.
Because I was thinking between Revelations and Black Flag, I was like, I thought, okay, what about they're a different kind of experience. Revelations was a much more intimate, like close game, where it's like this insulated place, like going through these streets and alleyways. And Black Flag was you're in charge. It's you against the world, and how they turned him into an assassin from this just random pirate. And just straight away, you're in a storm, shipwrecked, and it's just this random nobody kill an assassin who just happens to be betraying them, and just going and bullshitting your way into the Templar Order. And the fighting was incredible with the two swords. The cities and towns were they just measured them perfectly, so they were still good to run around after the cities of the past. No horses. Just remember, no horses.
No.
And just the sheer amount of time spent out on the ocean, it was made being out on the ocean feel incredible. I loved collecting everything. I loved collecting the sea shanties.
I love them. They're so good. I could easily listen to the shanties for like several hours and I'd be fine.
Did you fight any of the legendary ships?
Yes, I did them all. Yes, they were good.
Were amazing.
Right
Brilliant.
in the corners of the map, I think. That was really enjoyable. I've got a lot of time for Black Flag. I think there's a lot of it, like on every level of gameplay, that I found really enjoyable. I think purely from a total package, that would probably be my top one. But obviously, my personal choices reflect who I am as a person. But yeah, I know I have a lot of time for Black Flag. I think even the parts where you're in the present day were really great. They've not done anything like that since, and I think it was one of the best directions they could have taken it. I really enjoyed that. It actually made me want to go to the present more than I had in previous Assassin's Creed games, definitely.
Yeah, that was inspired, that world setting. That they've never topped that for the present day. One thing I've been meaning to ask you, I'm struggling to remember their names. The two people outside the Animus who are there in every game.
Dawn and Rebecca, yes.
Yeah. Do you care about them in the slightest? Because I don't understand why they keep on being in there.
No, I mean, they served quite a purpose in the first in the time when Desmond was alive. It was very much connected there, but they don't have much. I don't really understand their connection to Layla, really, and why they're carrying on. And I mean, obviously, they've got together as characters, but again, that's not really explored a great deal. Also, Rebecca's hair is completely awful in Valhalla. They really didn't think that one through. I don't know. They obviously can't do long hair very well. But I'm sorry to moan about it. I know it's hard work, but it really doesn't look good. But no, in terms of why they're there, I just no, I don't really care. No.
Yeah, just so it's been like a dozen games where they make a point to put them in every game.
Yeah.
I just think, what about? It's been 15 years.
Yeah.
Who cares? And,
it has been quite a long time, but yeah.
So that's our overview. So mine was Unity in third place Unity, second Revelations, and then number one were Black Flag. And what were yours?
My third place was Brotherhood. Second place was was it? No, wait, no, sorry. Third place was Syndicate. I'll start again for the team. Third place was Syndicate. Second place was Brotherhood, and first place was Origins.
There you have it. That's the answer to your question of which are the best games to play in the Assassin's Creed series. Thank you very much for watching or listening. You can like, share, and subscribe, please, wherever you happen to be watching. In YouTube, subscribe, please. We want more subscribers. We have tons of video content on there, so you're not doing it for nothing. Also, please do comment and give us 5 stars on iTunes, because that helps us move up the charts as well. Basically, we just want our content to the eyes and ears of as many people as possible to get the feminist gaming message out there. So until next time, we're live every Thursday at 7 p.m. with a podcast, a Let's Play. Now we release these deep dives or bonus rounds on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So you can look forward to them during the week. From me and Alex, bye-bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed that episode of Gaming the System. If you want to support us, you can donate to us through our PayPal by sending it to wearegamingthesystem@gmail.com if you want to send us a one-off donation. If you want to donate to us monthly, you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/gamingthesystem. Until next time, bye-bye.